Hello everybody, welcome back to another video on the channel, Mr. Footballer Loons, and today I am doing Game Week 21 predictions of the Premier League, and they're going to be starting off on the 12th of January. It's at Turf Moor, it's Burnley versus Luton Town. What a huge game for both clubs. Now, earlier on in the season, Burnley did win this. They won it 2-1 away from home at Kenworth Road. Going into this game, Luton have definitely improved from there, so I don't see Luton Town losing. Because Burnley at home, I think it will even out. Luton are showing so much fight. Like, they were 3-0 down against Chelsea, and they went on to make it 3-2, and they've had chances after chances, crossed it into the box so many times, hitting the crossbar, getting some huge chances, got 2 goals. You know, they nearly managed to pull it back to a draw against Chelsea. Luton Town will not lose this, but because Burnley at home, because Burnley are also starting to improve, I think it will even out to a high-scoring, exciting 3-3 draw. Moving on to the next game, is a whole new day. It's the 13th of January. It is at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea versus Fulham. It is a London derby. And while Fulham won it 2-1 against Arsenal, absolutely fantastic. Raul Jimenez is the new Alexander Mitrovic. Raul Jimenez was suspended for 3 games, and those 3 games he was suspended for, they lost them all. Before that, he was on form. And then when he returned, they got a win. So Raul Jimenez is the answer for Fulham, and that's why they suddenly started to do well. Willian is back and doing fantastic from injury. And well, this game is going to be a very close game. Chelsea's obviously inconsistent. I am tempted to go for a draw, but because Chelsea are at home, I feel like, you know, the last 5 games they have won 3. I feel like something's going to start to click, and I think Chelsea can win this. Only just about. Wouldn't be surprised for a draw. 2-1. Moving on to the next game is at St James's Park. It's Newcastle United versus Manchester City. And well, Newcastle United, a bit of hope has struck them as they win it 3-0 against Sunderland, their arch rival. So happy. Martin Dubravka clean sheet. Another good performance for Martin Dubravka. He did well against Liverpool, proving everyone wrong that he is the goalkeeper for Newcastle. Despite conceding 4 goals against Liverpool, he still performed well. And overall, Newcastle United, that's Newcastle United I know. Defensively, very good. Attackingly, very good. Pressed Sunderland. It was fantastic. Again, Sunderland are in the Championship, so it is a much easier opponent, but I think this is hope. The fact that they're home here, the fact that they won it 3-0, that Eddie Howe's, you know, on the line, I feel like Newcastle United will not dominate this game. Manchester City, with Kevin De Bruyne and Erling Haaland returning from injury, I think it's going to be a very hard game. Manchester City are going to dominate with chances after chance. But Newcastle United being home, and I feel like the hope and the performance they played against Sunderland is going to cheer them on to at least get a point. It could be biased, but I think Newcastle, with all that said, it will be a dominant performance by Man City. But Newcastle, they're home. They won against Sunderland. They're going for it. I think the score is going to be 2-2 come the final whistle. Moving on to the next game, it's a whole new day. It's the 14th of January. It is at Goodison Park. It's Everton versus Aston Villa. And I honestly do not know how this game is going to go. Everton, to be honest, Everton, the last 3 games in the Premier League, they have lost them all. And they lost 3-0 against Wolverhampton Wanderers. I know Wolves are on form, but so are Everton, you know. It wasn't a fantastic performance, but I honestly think they can get back up and put an absolutely great performance against Aston Villa. Again, these are one of these where I feel like a draw could definitely happen. I feel like the reason why Everton lost against Wolves is just because Wolves are playing outstanding and probably a bit better than Everton. But Everton is still playing fantastic despite the last 3 games losing them. And I feel like they're going to be fighting. I don't think it's going to be enough because Aston Villa, they're currently in the top 3. They're doing pretty well. And I feel like they've got a bit too much quality. I am going to only go with a 2-1 result to Aston Villa come the final whistle. Only just about though. Moving on to the next game, it is at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. One of the biggest game of Game Week 21. And while Tottenham are busy in the January transfer window, they're looking for centre-backs. They've brought in Timo Werner on loan into the club. Going to give him a bit of pace. Don't know whether he's going to be able to play this game when it comes along. Even if he does, I don't think he'll make a difference that much. But people that will make a difference is that Son's on international duty. Sarr, Bassoum, that's some huge losses on top of loads of injuries, especially away from home. You know what? I don't think Tottenham are going to win this. Manchester United at home. They've shown some signs against Aston Villa when they won at 3-2, coming back from 2-0 down. But then afterwards, they lost it 2-1 against Nottingham Forest. The inconsistency and the unconvincing Manchester United is still here. They did win it 2-0 against Wigan Athletic, but whoop-de-doo. But overall, I'm going to have to go down the middle for a draw. Tottenham, I don't see a win it because of all the injuries and international duty. Manchester United, you're inconsistent. But overall, I think you're only just about going to get a point, Manchester United. And the score's going to be 1-1 come the final whistle. Moving on to the next game, it's actually a 5-day break because of cup games like Carabao Cup games and FA Cup games. But it is the 20th of January and it is at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. Another London derby, two London clubs. Arsenal, what is going on? They lost at 2-0 against Liverpool. Yes, they played better in the first half, but Liverpool had the second half. So Arsenal had the first half, Liverpool had the second half. Evidently, there's one key difference. Liverpool can score, Arsenal can. As simple as that. They need a prolific, top, good striker. And they might have a striker by this point. You know, they may have signed a striker coming into this game. But I think it's unlikely. They're definitely going to probably sign a striker in January, but probably not for this game against Crystal Palace. And if that's so, if they do not have a prolific striker starting this game, I think Crystal Palace does have a good chance of getting a point. Now, I know Michael Olise is rumoured to leave Crystal Palace, but he didn't in the summer transfer window, and I don't think he's going to do it in the January transfer window. Olise is absolutely fantastic. He returns from injury, and he's consistently doing well. Got in himself a couple of goals in the last game, I believe. Eze's doing fantastic. Crystal Palace under Roy Hodgson got themselves a win. And you know what? Crystal Palace drew against Man City. So why can't they draw against Arsenal? And I feel like Arsenal are going to dominate this game in terms of shots. But Elise is going to cross it in to someone like Jordan Ayew or Eze. And Crystal Palace are going to be able to get a point. And I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Sorry, Arsenal fans, but I don't think you're going to get a win in this game. I originally did have you 2-1. But I'm going to stick with my 1-1 draw. Moving on to the next game, it is Brentford at the GTEC Stadium facing Nottingham Forest. And while Brentford are not on good form, Thomas Frank is on the line for being sacked. Loss after loss, not good enough by Brentford. They've also got an FA Cup game also. But there is one good news. A huge player they got banned because of gambling issues. It is Ivan Toney is returning in this game. And apparently he's been training well. He's fully fit, not injured, and he's probably going to start coming into this game. He's finally no longer banned. His suspension is done. And I also believe Ben Mee's also returning from his suspension, his small little suspension. So those are two huge players, a good striker and a good centre-back. That's why I'm not going to go Brentford to lose. But last season and sort of this season, they do like to get a lot of draws. They did it last season. And facing Nottingham Forest, which doesn't have the base away record, but is on form in general. They won it 3-1 against Newcastle United. Chris Wood getting a hat-trick. They won it in their last game as well. In Nottingham Forest are doing very well. I don't see them losing it. I don't see Brentford losing it because of Ivan Toney returning and them being at home. And because Thomas Frank is on the line and they're so desperate for 3 points. So I am going to go down the middle and I am going to say a 1-1 draw at the final whistle. Moving on to the next game, it's a whole new day. It's the 21st of January. It's at Bramall Lane. It's Sheffield United versus West Ham United. Well, Sheffield United has improved under Chris Wilder. They did lose at 2-0 against Manchester City, but that is Manchester City. They are improving under Chris Wilder, but facing West Ham United, who are currently in 6th. Yes, they did have a bit of a blip up in the FA Cup, but that's the FA Cup when they drew at 1-1 against Bristol. West Ham does have to play a replay, so they could be a bit tired coming into this game. I wouldn't be too shocked for a draw. But I am going to play it safe and I am going to go for the better team, West Ham United, to win this. And I'm going to go 3-1 to the away side, West Ham United. Moving on to the next game is at the Vitality Stadium. It's AFC Bournemouth versus Liverpool. Now, Liverpool obviously coming into this game, won it 2-0 against Arsenal. They're in the FA Cup. They're in the Carabao Cup. They're in the Premier League and in the Europa League. At the moment, they could do the quadruple if they win all of those, which would be a sensational season. They must get at least one trophy. Now, in my last video, I said that Liverpool would win the league, and because of that, I am going to go for a win to Liverpool. But Bournemouth played fantastic against Tottenham, I have to admit. They probably deserved at least a point in that game. They did very, very well, even with a 3-1 loss. But I could definitely see a 2-2 draw. Originally, I put in a 2-2 draw between these two sides. I do not see Bournemouth winning against Liverpool, considering the momentum from Liverpool. But a draw I could see. But because I think Liverpool are going to win the league title, I'm just about going to go to Liverpool. They're going to keep up the momentum, and they're going to win this 2-1 away from home. Moving on to the next games at the Amex Stadium, which means it's Brighton and Hove Albion versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, and this looks like a very close game at the moment. Wolverhampton Wanderers are going to miss Hwang Hee-chan, and I think Lemina is still going to be missed. Obviously, for respect to Lemina and his father, very sad news. But going into this game, Hwang Hee-chan, probably no Lemina. Wolves still look strong, and Brighton, you know, they had so many shots, so much of the possession against West Ham United, but came out of it with a 0-0 draw. A point is a point, though. Going into this game, they have kind of picked up a bit of form, Brighton. They're home here, you know, it's a hard one. And I think because it's so hard to predict who's going to win this, I am going to go down the middle. And I'm going to go for an exciting 2-2 draw. And for goal of Game Week 19 has to be Aston for Brighton and Hove Albion. What a great goal outside the box. And goal of Game Week 20, I'm going to pick Morgan Gibbs-White. Great curling shot to get a winner against Manchester United. Great goal outside the box. Unstoppable to save. But how did I do in Game Week 19? Well, I got 5 points out of 20 points. Wasn't a fantastic time. I've only got one exact result correct, and that was Liverpool winning it against Burnley 2-0. But in Game Week 20, how did I do? Well, not too much better. I only got 6 points out of Game Week 20. One exact result correct, and that was Manchester City winning it 2-0 against Sheffield United. I definitely want a better week. I want a fantastic week this week. But if you did enjoy the video, I am going to go do a like target, and I'm going to go for 30 likes for this video. It's the second time I'm doing a like target. I'm going to go for 30 likes. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Hopefully you can like and subscribe, and always remember to turn on those notifications. That is one of my fantastic YouTube videos. I will see you next time. Toodle pip now.